It's another day and we're happy to say we're single and we're healthy and we love it that way. Our melanin is popping in the morning glow, and we're about to tell you how the story goes.
Oh, hell nah.
Man, it's freezing out here.
Okay, I be with my bestie. We got the fresh tea, so tune in every Tuesday. Don't be messy. Elevate your mind, don't let none get you down. Cause this is Hot Thoughts. We covered the higher ground.
All right, guys, welcome back to another beautiful episode of High Thoughts.
High Thoughts.
It's like the Halo sound.
Yes.
But yes, guys, welcome back. As you see or you can hear, we got our girl back. We got Tonysha back.
Hey, what's up? What's up? Yes. I am so sorry I missed last week. It's been crazy out here. I did my first show in, what is that, a year and a half almost. So it was like real crazy. I drove from Florida to Maryland to be with my family for a bit, and then I went up to New Haven. We did a show in New Haven, and then we did 2 shows in Central Park, which was so much fun. But it was crazy because a lot of people was dealing with like heat exhaustion out there.
Okay.
So it was like 96 degrees. There was a whole heat wave, which I'm finding out there was a heat wave on the West Coast, like in the Washington State area. I don't know if LA got it, but I just heard it's been really hot. And my grandma, who gets overheated, had a little episode where she kind of was like, did a little pass out.
Oh, wow.
Literally, the show started at 3. My grandma is having a little passing out moment at like 2. And it got crazy because I had to get a paramedic. We got her right. We had to put ice all over her, get her right. So now it's like 2:30, 2:40. And I'm like, they're like, okay, we need to take her to the hospital. I'm telling my aunt, like, can you go with her to the hospital?
Yeah.
And literally, I'm like, I got to do a show. So, end up doing the show. She ended up, thank God she was okay. They just said, it's hot and a lot of people overheat. But because of her age, it's like you have to watch those things. So we got her together. She had to stay on the bus the whole time in AC, but we did those 2 shows, and Ben Crump came. Okay. That was dope. He was really nice, and it was successful. And I'm ready to get back out on the road. Like I miss it.
Nice. What is the one thing, I guess, that you miss about being on the road?
I miss, well, of course, the stage. Like, I miss performing and being around people. I also miss the whole hustle of it all, like being out there, moving around, things of that nature. Because I do like the whole hotels and stuff like that. This time I did the flights and the hotels. So it was a lot going on. But I like when there's a lot going on. I don't know why. Maybe that's because it just kind of gets me out of my head, and into something else. So I like that. So and just being in different places, meet new people, and yeah, I miss it all. Like being out there, I was like, damn, I miss this. Like when we get back to it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's what's up. Well, we're glad to have you back on High Thoughts.
Yes.
So let's get into it, because there's a lot of shit that's been happening up in the world. With the world being back open, people aren't wearing masks anymore. Like I said, I caught COVID during the period a few weeks ago. So I'm just happy that episode is over, because it was definitely not good. Especially being, I think, by yourself. It's like definitely, it's weird, right? So yeah, people aren't wearing masks anymore. I went to, where was it? It was like an opening to like some event, and also I went to an album release party, after COVID was done, and I tested negative a couple times, because I wanted to make sure. I even went to my doctor. I got a doctor's note just to, in case the flights were asking questions, I just wanted to be super safe and clear. So I am healthy. My doctor says I'm healthy. I even got tested for the antibodies, or, whatever you call that. So they drew my blood and all that. So I am good to go, guys. So yeah, and people were not wearing masks at these parties. Everybody was just kind of chilling, hanging out. But y'all, COVID is still real. I do want to tell you that it's definitely still real, and this new variant is, I hear it's more harmful. People are
Delta,
becoming
right?
sicker. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. There's probably a new variant out by the time this episode comes out. So who knows?
Right.
So
no, and I don't know, because you and I weren't feeling well at the same time. But so that day you called me, you were like, yo, go get tested. So I waited the next day and I went and got tested, and I went and got my grandma and son, and we all came out negative. So I was like, well, damn, but everyone's different. And then it's weird because you also say to yourself, like, did we all get it from the same spot? Because we were hanging out. Like, we were out when we were in Los Angeles. And then being in New York, things were opening up, but things would have kind of recently though opened up. Like, they were telling me, like, hotels, like, we've only been open for 3 weeks after a whole year and a half of being closed. So it is real, and I don't know how they're going to keep it under control. I know a lot of people are vaccinated at this point. Um, so I don't know what that means either, right? Because we're all in experiment, right?
speaking of, like, everyone taking these vaccinations, I know you're vaccinated. I'm still in the process of thinking about it, obviously, since I've had COVID. So there's no point in me getting a vaccine within the next like 60 to 90 days, I believe, until after everything. But right, I have the antibodies at this point. So I've already donated my antibodies for people who are sick. So when you were at your show, were people wearing masks? Like, what was that? Were they asking people for their vaccine cards? Because I don't think that's actually happening.
No, so no one's asking for the vaccine card, and I want to say you can't. I feel like that is part of your medical records, and I don't think you can ask to see that. But I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. So we did a show in New Haven. It was at like it was called the Music Hall, the Music Hall. So we were indoors, and when I looked into the audience, no one had on masks.
Okay.
Maybe a few, but once again, people are screaming and yelling over top of each other, hands in the air, just dancing with one another. So you can
And are
definitely.
these all outdoor events or indoor events?
That was an indoor event in New Haven. So yeah, no, people are.
I mean, shows are back. I mean, that's the thing. Obviously, or you guys wouldn't be on stage. Like, shows are back. Tyler, the Creator, had like a couple secret pop-up shows. I know he had one in LA and one in New York. That I know we talked about last podcast, how much I adore Tyler. So everybody's been back to shows. Like, it's a thing. We are back outside. So
We are back outside and back inside too. Like, I thought that when the shows were coming back, I just figured that most of them would be outdoors. But no, they are indoors as well. And people are just yearning to be interactive and being out. And since I've been in DC, I've been going up to like U Street. I haven't hung out here in years. So I've just been getting reacquainted with like, oh, what's going on in the DC DMV area. And yeah, everything's open. You walk into a spot, nobody has on their mask. People are on each other's faces. People are dancing with one another. You can just tell that people are wanting to be outside, and they want to interact, and they want to talk and flirt and feel normal again.
Yeah, for sure.
I just hope it doesn't bite us. Like, that's the thing. Like, I just hope that this doesn't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hope that we're not that country because I don't know what other countries are doing. So I just hope that it doesn't, run rampant again, because it was really messing with people's psyche being in the house so long.
Yeah, to take a little shift. Recently, we know that what is her name? Sha'Carri Richardson. Yes, she placed it. She got first place in the Olympic trials, and now she is officially going to the Olympics, in Japan. But she recently tested positive for marijuana in a recent drug test. So, with all that going on, I know a lot of people are saying, let this girl run. Like, she could run off that with weed. Imagine what she could run without weed. So, what are your feelings about this situation? Do you feel like they should not punish her for that, for the negative drug test? Or do you feel like she knew the rules and in any situation, you have to abide by the rules? I mean, athletes have to do it all the time, from professional athletes. If they do smoke, they do it in the off season. They get clean, you know what I mean? And then they get ready for the season. I know there are a lot of athletes that do smoke marijuana.
Yes. So I think that I think it's petty, right? And that's just coming from a personal perspective. I think it's petty. I feel like it's not steroids and it's not hard drugs, but that's me. But then you have the other side. Like I heard they asked Biden about it, and he said the rules are the rules,
Hmm.
and people were upset with that. But that's just what it is. That's what life is. Rules are rules, and a lot of times we don't agree with them, right? Some rules
Hmm.
I find are like silly to me, but what do you do? So
Right.
that's what it is right now, and I'm hoping that I know she's on like I don't know if it's a 30-day suspension or 90.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30-day suspension. So I just hope that she's able to hopefully they can just get that right and she's able to run. I think that there's been a
Yeah.
few things with this whole Olympics that is some bullshit, honestly. But that pretending to that young lady, she just lost her mother and she still came out there and kicked ass. And I feel like people I know your personal life has nothing to do with what you're doing as far as your job and things of that nature. But I
Mhm.
feel like society, we don't realize the what it took for her to actually go out there and perform grieving her mother.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
don't get credit for that shit. You get put down for the things you're not doing, but she doesn't get any credit for the fact that she still came up, she showed up, and she kicked ass. And damn, you lost your mom a week ago? I don't even know if I'll be able to move.
Right.
So I just hope that it all works out for her. She's deserving of it. And I love that she's like a black woman, but I know a lot of track stars, like, that's their thing, like, black women with the long nails. I love it. Like, I think that she's just a representation of, you know, the girls that we know.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think it's some bull, but I hope it works out.
Yes, I think after the 30-day probation period, she'll still be eligible, like as far as ready for the Olympics, because she still has some time. But
And oh, not to cut you off. Then there's the other thing. Did you see with the swim caps how
yeah.
they're not? Yeah. So that's why I said it's a lot of little politics. I feel like that
Hmm.
are against us. I think we had a black girl who's going into the Olympics for in swimming,
Hmm.
and
We did.
yeah, we have to protect our hair. Why can't we wear? They're not making particular swim caps that are gonna go over natural hair. I think that is discrimination. I think it's some bull.
It
So
definitely is. But guess what? A white woman named Kim Kardashian got Skims as the official apparel for the US Olympics. So for me, if they can bring in something like that from someone who has a basically a porn star past, you're telling me we can't have swim caps like from a black designer? Like, so yeah, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is all politics. It's about money.
yep.
Um, so that's just what it is. But as far as going back to the young lady, Miss Richardson, I feel like I kind of agree with Joe Biden. Like there are rules when it comes to being an athlete, right? especially when you are going out for the Olympics. You know the stakes are high. You know they're watching you. They get tested a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I know as a student athlete in college, like, you got tested, like whether it was bi-monthly or whatever it was, like they checked you out, and it could be random, and you just had to be aware. So if you felt like you were wanting to take that risk, the only people who really took that risk were players who didn't play a lot. So for her to be a star like that, and to know that she's one of the fastest on that team, yeah, I think she was really playing with herself a little bit. And just playing with her future, you know what I mean? So that's my only thing, is like, just don't play with your future like that. I know she's smart, and I know she probably, regrets the situation. But at the end of the day, we're here. She's lived in it. It's the past at this point, and all she can do is just look forward and not make that same mistake again. That's how I feel about it personally.
Yeah, yeah. I hope
Yeah.
I hope they just don't, it doesn't bite her completely in the ass. Because she owned up to it, took responsibility for it. I mean, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm rooting for her though. I think this is her time, and it sucks because one mistake
Yeah.
can't ruin everything.
It can. I mean, at the end of the day, like she said, she's human. We are all human. We all make mistakes. So, I
Yeah.
think she has definitely learned from this, because it's also at the same time embarrassing for people to know that you made a mistake like this. You know what I mean? Something that you
Right.
could have avoided. So,
Avoid it. Yeah. Right. No, I get.
but
Yeah.
moving on.
Yeah.
Speaking of someone else who has kind of embarrassed himself, embarrassed the Black community, Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby is out. He is back out in these streets. He's here, and I know eventually he's going to do a press tour, and I know that Bill Cosby's going to talk about how he was innocent the whole time, or whatever this was. And I'm not here to say whether he was innocent or not, or guilty or not, because I was not there. I've heard the stories of those women. You hear so many stories, right? But what do you think about it? 'Cause I always like to toss that off. What's
Uh,
that? What you think, T?
um, when I found out he was being released, I just said, well, the court system says he's innocent, or that, because he's been dropped of all charges. Like, he's not even listed as a sex offender or anything. It's almost like you're
Mm-hmm.
right. So that's what the court says. Let the man walk. It is interesting because it's like, I don't know, it's a lot, I guess. Listen, he violated those women. It's like, ugh. Right?
Yeah. I mean, no matter what, because even though you say, because listen, I've heard it too. Like, if I'm going into a man's house at 2 a.m, I still don't consent to you raping me and drugging me.
No,
Period.
I don't. Right. I think that, well, a lot of the stories, right. No, there's never a need to violate a person
Right.
at that when you are a man.
Right.
I do
No
think
matter
that,
how many bad choices they decide to make, right? Because going to anybody's house at 2, 3 a.m, they are thinking something else. Even if you don't do anything. Listen, I've been in people's house at 2, 3 a.m, and I didn't want to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, oh, I don't want the party to end.
and then there's things like, and I know there are certain situations where women will go to his hotel room, and Bill is opening the door in a robe, and it's 2 a.m. For a mind like mine, I'm going to automatically think this ain't business.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna come back in the morning.
I'm
We can
gonna come
maybe
back
catch breakfast.
exactly. Unless you're like my good, good, good friend, and I know you extremely well.
Mhm.
If I know you extremely well, I'm gonna tell your ass, go put some damn clothes on, and I'll come in, or whatever that rapport you have with someone.
Mhm.
Nonetheless, if you still chose to go in, that does not give a person the right to drug you or to whatever. You know, that comes in with your choice and how you analyze situations, and also the conversation piece. But for the women out there who did say that he, raped them and things of that nature, if it's true, it's awful. I mean, it's awful that he's able to walk free. But the court
Mhm.
says he's not. So we move on. I mean, it's so sad because that's how the justice system is. Like you watch so many petty crimes get these long ass sentences. You watch so many people who are, in other races get no time for a serious crime. So it's just all over the place. So
Yeah.
I understood the outrage, and I understood if you think he is guilty, it's disgusting. For the people who do not think he's guilty, it's a victory.
Yeah.
And Felicia Rashad, they were really upset with her because she spoke her opinion. And I think that at this
What
point,
did she say?
finally the court, basically along the lines, like finally the court realizes that they made a huge mistake, and she's extremely excited that Bill is able to walk.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and although it's so funny to me because they came down on her extremely hard. Once again, that's her opinion. That's just her opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And now they want to, nail it to the cross. Great, whatever. But then when we had a president, that's where race always comes into play because it's never equality. They'll
Mm-hmm.
rob, they'll take from us if we
Mm-hmm.
have an opinion. Because once again, you ain't gotta listen to me. This is just what I think.
Right.
But then you'll have someone else say some wild shit like when Trump was president, and it's okay. It's freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just never balanced. We already know that. And yeah. I just stand on. I was shocked when I found he was getting out because I was like, well, damn, didn't they say like about 70 women was violated? Okay. But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, if that's what the justice system says, let him walk.
Let him walk.
Let him walk.
And he did. He definitely did. So
Yep, that old ass man walked up out of there like, peace.
with his pajamas on, I think, like pajama pants.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So, and if I was him, I wouldn't do no media.
Yeah, and that's where I think that's what I don't want him to do. You know what I mean? Like I want Bill to just live his life and do the things that you were doing before, because he wasn't really making statements like that anyway before he went in. Like not that I knew of. Like I knew he was trying to buy a huge network, and that was one of the reasons why they were coming after him supposedly, right?
Right.
So yeah, at this point that deal is definitely off the table, and he is now, trying to probably restructure his life again because now he's back in it. He has to take control of it again. I'm sure he had his wife and other people like taking care of certain things for him. So now he's back in the driver's seat, and I just really hope Bill doesn't do any press because I don't think it's really necessary. I think he should just, if he wants to work again, he should just get back to work, like in a sense of whether it's creating shows or giving opportunity for other Black people, which he's always been great at doing. So I'm happy about that. But again, this is it's not really my fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just not my fight. But I just hope maybe he can spin it into something positive.
Hopefully, and see what happens. But they cannot recharge him, so the verdict is what it is.
Listen, all I know is I'm tired of them crucifying our Black men, but I also just need our Black men to like get it together. You know what I'm saying? Like get it together in a sense of stop giving them certain reasons to do so. I know that may be controversial for me to say. I have brothers, so I get it. But
we don't get, and it's just hard facts. We do not get the same pass.
We don't get the same grace that white men like Donald Trump get. Right? Like we don't get the same, oh, it's just Trump. Oh, that's just how he is. We don't get that. We don't get that at all. Like, it's really tough, right? We just don't get that type of grace, to say it lightly. But speaking of someone making some decisions that are probably not going to give him much grace at all. Lil Uzi Vert, or Lil Uzi Vert, however you guys want to talk about him or pronounce his name. He recently, as we know, Uzi is dating, or I don't know, I assume they're still dating. They were just on the BET red carpet together, giving each other kisses. He's dating JT of the City Girls. But he recently got in a little scuffle in West Hollywood, California, with St. John, is what I'm hearing, and also an ex-girlfriend of his named Brittany. So I don't know, maybe you know more details. I know you're a Shade Room queen over there, so let us know what you read.
Well, no, what I basically read, I did read that St. John wasn't really in the fight. I think that he and the girl were having like a business meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that little Uzi Vert approached them and, well, approached her. And I think it just jumped off quickly. I think he punched her in her face. I think he got a little physical. It's crazy because I was just on the Shade Room and I'm watching him and JT on the 4-wheelers riding through, I guess, Philly, doing their whole like couple thing.
When was this?
This was like a few days ago.
Oh.
So to see that, then the BET Awards, and then to see that he's attacking an ex-girlfriend, yeah, if I was JT, I'd be like, oh, nah, bruh. First of all, you're putting your hands on a woman. That's just whack. Second of all, you're in public doing it. So you were really tight to make a scene like that.
I think he has little man syndrome because based off of obviously how he came at the one girl and punched her in the face as reported. Also just the way he was on the red carpet with JT. One, I've never, paid attention to him like that, but he seems like he's insecure and JT has to bring him on the red carpet. Like he was like, well, I'm coming with you. And she was like, okay. Like she had to say okay type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like he might be abusive to her. I don't know. I don't want to make any allegations, but he just seems a little like insecure and like he needs to control the women that he's with. And that's always super whack. And nobody needs a man like that, period.
Yeah,
but also, go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, nobody needs anybody like that. And I think, see, where it probably is tricky for her is, I think he started talking to her when she was locked up, maybe, or something like that. I don't know. I know it's really soon after she was released or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I know she probably feels like, not that she owes him, but hey, this guy took a chance on me, and he has a lot of money, and he likes me, and so whatever she has going on in her mind, that's fueling her to continue to talk to him because yeah. Like you said, if he punched a woman on the street in front of another man in public, definitely think he's probably a little physical with her.
I want to know how he knew where she was. Because let me tell you, that little area right there, yes, it's a popular area. It's like, I think like Tower Records is near there. Like it's a popular area, right? And that little cafe is an outdoor cafe. So maybe he happened to be riding by because everyone is always in West Hollywood. Like literally I was on Melrose and saw like 3 stars within 5 minutes the other day. So it could literally be that because that is a West Hollywood area. But yeah, I just really want to know how he knew she was I don't know. Like that was my one thing was how did he even know she was at this cafe?
I think, like you said, I think he probably just seen her. I think he just seen her. And probably
he was
like,
out at like that is called wrong time, wrong place, like for real.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think he just seen her though. Who knows? That may be a spot that she likes to go to. That may be a spot that they like to go to together. Like, who knows the situation?
And that's why, ladies, don't ever take niggas to your favorite spot. Okay, never meet a nigga at your favorite spot. I mean, I guess it's different because they were dating for such a long time, right. But that's always the rule I have. I don't like taking people to my like favorite spots and then I'm gonna run into you there. No, but I notice dudes do that. Dudes will take you to their favorite low-key ducked off spot and you better not go there after because you might see him there with another girl. You might get your feelings hurt, sis.
Exactly. Like,
And apparently, he got his feelings hurt.
Girl, yes, apparently. And I know if St. John was sitting there, or any man sitting across from a woman, and their ex comes up, it's like, I know he probably was like, what the hell is going on? And trying to figure out your position in it. Because sometimes you'll jump in something and the woman is cool with it. Or the man is cool with, like, this is how they correspond with each other, speak to each other. So I'm pretty sure just the person on the other end, he was like, what the hell is going on here?
First of all, as soon as Uzi saw her with fine ass St. John, with his tall self, first of all, St. John is like easily 6 foot something. And Uzi is like 5'4". So yeah, he was like, I'm intimidated. What's going on? You about to get with this fine ass man? Okay, no. I need you back.
Jesus. Oh my God. I love St. John. Oh my goodness. Anyway.
So yeah, I think that could have been, like I said, it's the insecurity. I like, you smell it. Like as soon as I saw him on the red carpet with her, and I was like, this don't even look right. Like, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. I was like, she's supposed to be on this carpet with her
band member?
Her friend. Like, she's supposed to be on there with just Young Miami. And so I think that's probably why Young Miami was like, let me bring my mom up because I need a date too. This girl over here want to drag her little boyfriend.
Yeah, I think, and that's where, yeah. So, and he may be even putting a division between that. Who knows? But I do think that
they seem like they're still close because I recently saw pictures of them at Sweetie's little Freaknik party, which looked lit. First of all, Sweetie, shout out to you, turn up, sis, because like she had all the girls out. I didn't really see a lot of like famous guys, and I think she did that on purpose because Sweetie already knows they're gonna try to put her with anybody famous.
Everybody.
Yes, like the whole Jack Harlow situation when he said he was just saying hi to her, which I find to be really funny because he was definitely on her remix for Tap In. But that's how you know artists don't meet anymore. They literally get the record sent and she was like, oh, that's cool. He's a hot new artist. He could be on the record type thing. But it's funny because your labels play a role in that, right? Like he's like, hi, I'm Jack Harlow. I don't know if you remember it, but I was on your motherfucking hot single.
Yeah, but
that was so funny.
You don't even link up, so.
I thought that was so funny.
Media is so messy. I'm like looking at them walk by past each other, and I'm like, what about this picture is telling me that they are trying to...
Oh, you didn't see the video?
Didn't see the video. I just seen them like passing one another.
Oh, no. There's a video where he walks up and says, hey, I'm Jack Harlow. And she was like, I know who you are. Yeah, no, like it was a whole situation. And I guess, yeah, it was like, oh, you're nervous. I'm nervous. And he was like, I'm not nervous, sweetie. Like, don't worry. And he's got like a little swag on him. You know what I'm saying? He's tall. Yeah. Ladies love a tall man. He's like 6 something. So, you know, we all like that. And he came with confidence. He definitely came with confidence. So, you know, I don't, what I'm saying is I don't think there's, to go back to the JT and Young Miami thing, I don't think there's any tension because I definitely saw them at that party and they were dancing, having a good time. I think at the end of the day, they're like most friends, right? Like you may get mad at each other, you may like not speak, but at the end of the day, it's like, we still good. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, let's not let a nigga or anything else come between us because at the end of the day, that's not what's important. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you, you know me, like, that's just what it is. So I look at them like that. I look at them more as like, they are probably girls for life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like sisters, whatever, however they feel about each other. Yeah, I would hope that they would not let that little man get in between them because
I hope not.
A little man.
He is. But no, you're probably right. But I do think, like, I know if I was management, I'd be like, yo, on red carpet, y'all gotta be together.
I mean, and they did take pictures together and they arrived together, but it was just weird to me. Like, I don't know. He just seems like that type of dude. I know those type of dudes. Yeah. Like we all know those type of guys who are just like, I'm going with you. And you like,
oh, okay.
Okay. You must be paying all the bills.
What did you think of, did you see like clips of Lil Nas X?
Yeah, definitely. I saw his performance.
So what did you think?
You know, I think that BET has a certain audience at the end of the day, like in a sense of it's a mature audience. You should not be watching that with your kids, no way. In my eyes. So if your kid is watching that, and Lil Nas X, like ever since Old Town Road was definitely for the young kids, right? Like even though he did say it was about gay, everything he sings about is about gay sex, right? Like Old Town Road is a gay song to him. Like that's how he wrote it. That's what he said. And I know all the kids love that song. They loved it when it was out, but I haven't heard any little kids like listen to his music now, but I'm sure somebody does. But as far as the whole kissing situation, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what he wants to do. Like Britney Spears and Madonna kissed. All the girls kiss. Like, why can't a guy kiss? Like, for me, it's whatever. I don't really think about it like that.
Right.
But I do think that he should use his platform in a more positive way. I think he should bring attention to more gay rights. You know, activities and situations, whether it's like with health or with just bringing awareness to certain causes, whatever that may be, and maybe he will get into that. But again, BET, an award show is about shocking people, you know what I'm saying? Like Cardi B was doing all types of twerking stuff, and what, you know what I'm trying to say? Like an award show is about shocking you. So if a straight person can do it, why can't someone who likes men, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it obviously wasn't that big of a deal. BET knew what that was going to do. Like, I don't know if they knew he was going to kiss that boy, but
right,
it happened.
I think that's what he, like, as far as when you said like standing on something, I feel like that's what he feels his mission is to make people uncomfortable so that they will feel comfortable, that whole that process of just, we are here, and yes, I am a gay man, but
we are here and we are queer.
Right. We live and love out loud. So I mean, it's a, people say like, oh, I'm comfortable with an individual being gay and stuff like that, and then when you see that, people become uncomfortable. So it is just not even figuring out, but just understanding, like you said, people love people, and sometimes, like, it can be pushed, it can be a lot, but then it can be a lot when it's two straight people. Like if you're someone who gets a little like when you see two straight people on the street kissing, then that's just who you are, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if you're that person, like, get a room, you're gonna say that to anyone. But it's just pushing it out there so that you can say like, hey, we are here, we live out loud just like everyone else. And if you didn't have a problem with it, why do you have such a big problem now?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, if the industry wanted to cancel him, they would, but he's making them way too much money for them to cancel him. So he's gonna continue to do what sells.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's just what it is. That's just how it works.
Yep. Liberated. So yeah, I thought the BET Awards was good though. I felt like a lot of people had some good performances.
There's a lot of performances. There wasn't a lot of I was really surprised Doja Cat didn't perform. She literally has performed at every concert since COVID started. So I was very surprised that she didn't. I don't even know if she won anything, but yeah, I was really surprised she didn't perform, especially because Meg performed. I was surprised Nicki didn't come out and do a debut, but maybe she's gonna wait until the end of the summer, until the album actually drops, to do some type of performance, or when she has like because I think this last project she put out was just like a little mixtape. So I think maybe when she puts an album out, she'll do a little performance. But yeah, it was dope. I love the tribute to Queen Latifah. That was super dope. I love the tribute to DMX. They fit a lot of performances in. Like City Girls performed, Migos, Meg Thee Stallion. Obviously, Cardi B was with the Migos. The Baby, Khaled, Lil Baby, Durk.
There's a bunch of them, and that I love Jasmine.
Yeah. Jasmine Sullivan and Ari. You know what I mean?
Ari,
Speaking of DC.
I loved it. I thought they sound amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought this year was good. I feel like the BET Awards was good this year, and I was pleased as a fan and a music lover. So
yeah, I think it's the production company, Jesse Collins Production. He did the virtual BET Awards last year that Amanda Seales hosted.
Yep.
Yeah, and Jesse Collins is a Black man, so that's always big ups that he continues to keep thriving and doing such, good work. You know what I mean? Like he makes sure to put on for us 100%. Like he does an amazing job. So yeah, shout out to Jesse Collins for that. He killed it. 100%.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to get to? I know there was so much happening in the world, and
girl, it's so much. Like I was watching. What was that? The whole. It's funny how people pop back up in the media, like the Lamar Odom thing. His wife is like, well, not his wife, his children's mother. She's like, guess wanting child support. So this is where I'm confused. I'm like, okay, she wants child support, but the kids are grown. So how
are they grown or are they in college? I think she wants him to pay for their tuition.
Oh, well, now that's different. If they're in college, I feel like, yeah, daddy, you need to.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like, I think you need to do that. But he was saying that he does give them money and stuff like that. It's just like I said, it's all that putting your shit out online. I'm like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
but honestly, that's how a lot of them get attention. Like that's how you get the attention sometimes, from what it seems like, of that person you're trying to wake up. When you're like, yo, I've called you 16 times for at least 2 weeks and you haven't responded. So I'm going to say something publicly to wake you up and make all your friends tag you in this, because apparently you're not getting my phone calls. Maybe it could be that. We don't know, right? Like it's all a what if, who knows?
It does get you.
That's why you got to take care of your shit, period. Like if you got kids out here in this world, that's why all these men having these 5, 6 children, you don't know how people are raised until your children get older and your children start telling the truth on that ass. You feel what I'm trying to say? Like that's when you know, that's when you know how they feel about you.
No, girl, that's so true. And then speaking of kids, Nick Cannon just had another baby. So one of the women who were pregnant.
I know. Do you still want to marry Nick Cannon from the Fuck, Marry, Kill game?
Yeah, I would marry Cannon out of that group of men that I had a selection from. I would. But I seen an interview from him, and he said that he doesn't think he's going to live long. So I thought that was interesting.
And that's even worse, right? Like you got 6 kids, 5 kids out here. And you don't think you're going to live to even raise them. But I guess they'll be trust fund babies. So I guess you feel like that's all right?
Yeah, who knows? The perspective on how that situation. And plus, he is a sickly person. He has lupus. So, wanting a legacy and who knows? I don't know.
I want somebody to interview one of the mothers. Not Mariah, because Mariah is in a whole different league, but I want them to interview one of the mothers, one of the recent mothers, because I want to know what he says to them. I want to know, like, what is that conversation? What is the agreement? Because they all seem so proud and so happy and have no, like...
Nope. No.
Yeah, like they... No, just... Yeah, like they just feel fine. Like they have no discrepancies. They're just like, I'm having a baby.
You make me happy. Yeah. Which is cool, though. I mean, which is like... Listen.
I think he lives like an African now. I think he lives like an African man where he has multiple women, wives, whatever you want to call them, and they have an understanding. So it's cool. Like, I'm taking care of all of you. You should have nothing to say, because he's done an interview where he says, if I have a baby with a woman, she isn't gonna ever have to work. And I think that is exciting for a lot of women. You know what I mean? Like, no, like I can even say for myself, right? If somebody's like, you never have to work, but you can work if you want to. And for me, I'd be like, yes, that's awesome. Right?
It's a great point, especially, I think that all these women are aware of who he is and what he comes with. And the first step to any relationship is honesty. So when you're aware of what you're walking into, now it's on you. It's funny because sometimes we'll get mad at like the person, like, well, he's doing this, but like if he's walking into it like, hey, this is who I am.
Yeah, accept me or not.
Accept me or not, because I have other options, and you do too. If I just say, look, I have other options, people are like, that's arrogant. No, it's not, because you have options as well. But this is what I'm looking for. And I think it works for them. And like you said, if a person came to me and said that, it's definitely, that sounds juicy.
Yeah. Well, here's the juiciness, guys. And thank you again for another day, another podcast day. Seriously, guys, we appreciate you guys. Tune in each and every Tuesday. I guess I shouldn't say each and every, because we are going to take another hiatus at some point, guys, to get life together and to bring y'all another season. So yeah, tune in on Tuesdays, new episodes Tuesdays. Don't miss it. It's always lit, at least from my perspective.
We always lit over here, okay? And definitely send in your topics and things of that nature so we can talk them out, hash them out, all that good stuff. We love to hear it.
Exactly. All right, y'all. It's your girl, Leah.
And it's your girl, Tonysha. And peace.
We out, y'all.